are many simple things in the world. Shovels. They are all different. Gardening shovel. Unloading shovel. Children's shovel. But there is also a different shovel. We use it when we come to the position. In short time, it helps us dig a trench which saves us from bullets. If a tank will pass over the trench, there is a high probability that it will not cause any harm to the soldier. We dig in the ground, deeper, and then connect the trenches with our friends to the left. In just a few hours, trenches are all connected. When we do not have an axe, we can use a shovel to cut a loaf of bread. A soldier uses a shovel as a paddle, crossing the wide river under enemy fire. If we run out of ammunition, we will use a shovel again, and then we'll move on. And when we get the order to stop, we'll take a shovel again and build around us an impregnable fortress. This fortress is defended by the army of Ukraine, our army.
What is this Facebook Live? I've never heard of this shit.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
On April, in the year of St. Javelin 2022. Did I say 21 April? Yeah, right. You speak some. Yeah, I know, dude. Woo, man. Hope everyone had a good week so far. Kicking off to the Friday eve of today. Busy news schedule. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, big Army news being revealed this week. It's pretty cool. I think what we're going to do is we're going to after the break, we're gonna shoot the breeze with a surprise guest to discuss one of the stories, because I am not. I'm trained in some of this stuff, but I just get a real expert here to shoot the breeze with me about weapons, about gats and guns, and so just that way we can have a nice new pew-pews. Exactly that, Gordon. Appreciate the hat. Yeah, I got a from the kids. From the next generation psychological operations professionals, provided me with some swag. So I was hanging out. Do not talk about Depp. I'll be honest with you, Craig. I've not paid a damn attention to what's been going on with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation case, or for what can I say is defecation case. Apparently, and only because I have friends that will post memes and joke around, but I will say that somebody sent a meme to me saying that how's it feel to be how's it feel to be known to the whole world that you took a shit in Johnny Depp's bed. So so we're not gonna talk about that. Like I said, I only get the memes. I only get the stuff. I haven't been paying attention to the details and all. Amber go poop, right? I will say that is there a narcissist badge of excellence? I don't know. Is there? Boy, there's a lot of narcissism going around already. I can tell. I can name a few. I can name a few individuals that I could bestow that award to, of the narcissist badge of excellence. I know there's a new Ukrainian combat recovery badge. I think we're authorized to wear. As I'm just kidding. I don't want to say that because I don't want people to freak out. I think that we have those deets that do it. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a good week so far. A lot of busy stuff going on. Like you saw on the headline for the show. What's up with them Sergeant Majors? What's up with them Command Sergeant Majors? What's up with them Command Sergeant Majors diddling with their privates? Diddling with their soldiers, I should say. Well, some of them might be privates. I don't know. A recent spate of Command Sergeant Majors, Sergeant Majoring deep, NCOPD in the streets, sergeanting in the sheets. I'm just going to clown on. Look, what the hell's going on? Why do we have Command Sergeant Majors doing the diddle with their troops? Fraternizing and disrupting good order and discipline by sleeping with their soldiers or messing around with their troops. I think that the Latinx. What's up, James? What's up, Bailey? What's up? Oscar, ala pues. Orale. Can't wait for Cinco de Mayo. I've been thinking about Cinco de Mayo so much. I've been dreaming about it, and I was telling somebody about having some dreams. Yeah, Bailey. I know I joke around about it, but it's just, yeah, it sucks. I know there's a serious factor to this, and it does destroy families. I'm going to say right now that I can't believe that there's individuals that like to talk shit and post on social media, performative leader stuff. How great they are, and look what I do with my troops. Look what I post with my troops. Look at I'm just here hanging out. Only I would never do this, and this. The same individuals who are presiding over individuals that probably have gotten DUIs, probably have gotten UCMJ. This isn't a new thing. Happened at Riley several years ago. A CSM quietly retires. Oh, there's Riley. Every post is not immune, Heather. There have been some prominent installations and prominent units that have been involved in shuffling of individuals to get away from any charges of fraternization or relationships with inappropriate ranks or inappropriate relationships of soldiers of different ranks, I should say. A violation clearly of AR 600-20. So Heather, we're just like touching the iceberg right now. Just the tip of the iceberg, of what we're going to be talking about right now. Well, let's go ahead and start off with Fort Hood. Once again, Fort Hood is the news. Top NCO for a Fort Hood, Texas Air Defense Unit is set to face a court-martial right now over allegations that he had an alleged affair with a subordinate and then lied about it in an official statement. It's like Fort Hood's always been in the news, right? I mean, that's like almost like not surprised when you talk about, oh, it's Hood. It's Fort Hood, Patriot Battalion, CSM, as a matter of fact. The top former NCO, Fort Hood-based Air Defense Battalion, is scheduled to face a court-martial in June over allegations they had an alleged affair with a subordinate and then lied about it in an official statement. Command Sergeant Major Tomas Barrios is charged with fraternization and adultery after carrying on an affair with a subordinate, according to a charge sheet provided by the Army Times. Our friend Davis Winky posting all the good stories out there. You should really check out his story on the border mission, the Texas Guard mission. He's got some good stuff. He's written some good stuff. Air Defense NCO allegedly made deliberate and repeated comments and gestures of a sexual nature towards a soldier beginning of May 21 and engaged in physical relationship with the unnamed corporal between July 21 and mid-September of that year. Of course, his conduct, integrity of supervisory authority is compromised, of course, and harmed the good order of discipline within the unit. Am I keeping freezing? Am I freezing? Am I okay? I think I'm okay. Oh man, I was just getting some good story. Yeah. All right. Let's see what's up. Yeah, it looks like Facebook is going through some drama. I'm really stuttering. I can see it right now. Yep. Yeah, looks like let's see. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, my FBI agent is watching. How about now? Let's see. It looks like it's clearing up. It seems good now. Yeah, I wonder what that glitch was, huh? It's probably going to get sucked. I probably had some people honing into my shit. How about now? Check it. My FBI agent's going, oh shit, there we go. I see everything coming back up. Yeah, according to some of the charts. Every time you type, it freezes it, dude. Why are you messing around like that, dude? Let's see. Let's look it up again. Yeah. Looks like everything's broadcasting okay. 5x5. Must have been a hiccup there on the webs. Everyone else is telling me on different platforms I got good feeds. So it must be affected to Facebook or something like that. Where was I at before I was internetly interrupted? So what was I saying? Yeah. So anyways, Barrios made 2 false sworn statements about the affair and then denied having a personal relationship with the corporal, according to the charge sheet. Investigators also believe that he also lied and denied that the personal communications in their sexual relationship. A 3 Corps official who provided the charge sheet said that all accused soldiers are presumed innocent until proven guilty in accordance with the law. Now, here's the thing. He hates getting handsy, exactly. A 69th ADA public affairs officer said that the brigade commander moved quickly after learning the reported affair. Quote, Colonel Henry Bennett dealt with the allegation swiftly and as it came to his level, who added that he could not provide details to the forthcoming court-martial, because it's a court-martial, right? Barrow's military attorney did not respond to an email request from comment from the Army Times, and his trial is scheduled to begin June 28th. June 28th. There we go. Here's my thing. Is this like repeat stuff? Is this habitual? Is there some sort of, because I know we have BCAP now, right? We have the assessment program to get individuals. There needs to be some sort of, it's not in the Army, it's guilty until proven innocent. There needs to be some sort of tracking mechanism of these individuals who have been busted before, and when they do get busted, this is what needs to happen. I applaud the 69th Air Defense Artillery Brigade. Their motto is Team of Wieners. Team of Winners. I'm sorry. I don't want to bag on them. That's just a joke we used to call. The 69th ADA used to be stationed in Germany before base realignment closures, and on the airfield that they were assigned, then that's what we used to call them. We used to call them Team of Wieners, just joking around, because there was some air defense aviation rivalry going on. I think I applaud the command for doing this. The command at 69th ADA in doing this is setting a good precedent that this shit will not be tolerated. Can we use the same trackers on priests? Yeah. So his troops have been saying on Reddit that he's been doing this before. That this is not the first time that this has happened. Hang on for a sec. There we go. I'm just communicating with the surprise guest. So at any rate, there needs to be something that can be set up. Yes, brag for you young troops. There needs to be some sort of tracking system. There needs to be something that tracks it. Am I breaking up again? Yeah, it's like every time I'm talking about this stuff, it never fails. You got the comms coming up. 348A is all I know. One thing that trips me out is I'm seeing everything's going good. Sorry about that for the usually isn't. Sergeant doesn't walk around and look in the law and say, I'm going to rack up some sharp points today. Yeah, but you know what? Most of it is track. There's some of our soldiers that know of them. There's some of us soldier offenders most of the time are repeat offenders, and they continue to get away with it. Good point, Oscar. I think that the like you were talking about earlier, Heather, about the priests. Hang on for a sec. priests tracking. I think there needs to be a bigger database with this. I think I think there needs to be a tracking system. Everybody, they had a slamming defect. Was she his personal driver? I don't know, David. You know how every state has some sort of like a case file, like a CaseNet, or just like a normal court database or something like that. There needs to be something like that for offenders or individuals that have been investigated upon when it comes to something like this. So that way, the Army has a tracking of who's been under investigation for this and what the outcome is. So instead of it just being hushed and all that, it should just be. They should have some sort of like an Article 15/15-6 tracker, so that way said NCO, it follows that individual, almost like how EES is for an NSUER. Registered like sex offenders. So once you're investigated, you get it's almost like a flag, because obviously if you were an allegations now. There's some individuals that say a CSM offender map. Yeah, there you go. Call it like Mill CaseNet. Like, you know how CaseNet in some states is basically a tracking system of all individuals. And it could be delegated almost like EES. I want to talk about another individual who Command Sergeant Major Benito Perez. This one right here, I think this was out of Fort Carson. Sergeant Major Benito Perez did near El Paso, Texas, between 1 May 2008 and 2009, take indecent liberties and physical presence, blah blah blah. That charge sheet is a big one too, because on different occasions, was it consensual, was it forced? That's a good point. I don't think the charges on that one was forced. It looks like it was consensual. 3 specifications for Sergeant Major Benito Perez out of Fort Carson. Pulled his drawers down to an underage kid. Engaged in sexual activity that would constitute a criminal offense under Title 10 U.S. United States Code 920 and 934 in Title 18 Colorado revised statute section 18-6-302. It did near Camp Iterate. So there's like several other incidences that has happened. This individual, I think, was like busted down. And he served some time. Served some time for that one. Army Times article posted last year, actually, June 18th. The blah, 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 blah. Posted another one. The Sergeant Major dropped to E4. He gets confinement over sexual misconduct at Fort Stewart. Former Command Sergeant Major Wynn Army Community Hospital at Fort Stewart, Georgia, sentenced to 6 months confinement and dropped his rank to specialist when he was convicted of sexual misconduct. Pursuant to his pleas, convicted of 2 specifications of failure to obey a lawful regulation and 1 specification of extramarital sexual conduct in violation of Articles 92 and 134 of the UCMJ. Contrary to his not guilty pleas, he was also convicted by a military panel composed of officers and 2 specifications of abusive sexual contact and 3 specifications of maltreatment in violation with UCMJ Articles 120 and 93. In this one right here, in this time frame, that Martin made deliberate comments and gestures of a sexual nature towards the sergeant and a sergeant first class, which resulted in maltreatment charges. In one instant, he touched the hand and the breast of a specialist and attempted to kiss her, charge sheets say. All 3 soldiers were subordinates of Martin. Also conducted an unduly familiar relationship with a sergeant first class and appeared to compromise the integrity of supervisory authority. He did the same with the private class in spring of 2020, the documents say. Personal relationships between higher-ranking soldiers and their subordinates are typically restricted by Army regulations. Martin was also married. Same with Barrios. He was married too. Who also engaged in the extramarital affair, the charge sheets stated. Dude. You know what kills me here? Is that what does the Army do with the families in this? Like, does the Army keep the family appraised of what's happening? Like the spouse, because they're both married, right? The spouses of these individuals. What does the Army do on this? Does the Army assist them and all that? Or is that because they're afraid of getting a black mark or looking bad on WTF Moments or the Army Times, that they don't talk about this, that they don't talk to the spouse, they don't give the details to the spouse or any of that? It goes back to the CaseNet thing that I was telling you, the mill CaseNet. Navy and officer, Marine mechanic, she marries a corporal and now faces a court martial. This is reversed. And this happened back in the day. This happened way back in the day. Holy shit. I don't even think some of you were born during this time. So she was a Marine officer, married to a Lance Corporal. That was back in the day when that really wasn't kind of really a thing. But the Army does have a catch program, but it only I did not know that. Unfortunately, it only tracks those that have been actually convicted to help the sexual assault survivors. Heather says that they don't talk about anything. That's a good question though. What happens to the spouses? What happens to the families when something like that happens? Who takes care of the families when this shit happens? Who's the one that's there briefing the families along on this? Because although yes, this happened to the family, and it's fucking embarrassing. Who knows what the individual's been saying to the spouse? Who knows what the individual's been talking about to the spouse? Or unit rumor mongering and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly that. See, Gordon, that was just a great question. I know there's individuals in the audience that are obviously reacting to this, and we've all seen this too happen. We've seen what happens to both individuals and both parties. I know what someone was saying earlier. Was it rape or was it consensual? If it was consensual and was an inappropriate relationship, why isn't does the other individual get busted? How many stories and investigations do you know that are happening right now where it was consensual and only one party gets busted? Male or female, what have you? Riley incident, it was completely blown off and the wife stayed with the soldier. Most have to accept it. There's no support and there's nowhere to go. What do you mean? Does it matter? That's what I'm saying. If it's consensual or not consensual, then if it's not consensual, then it's rape, and then that's why that question was asked. If it is consensual and it's two individuals that are two non-commissioned officers and they're reporting it and they were involved in that, why is only one side getting busted for it? Do you feel like you could say no to your higher ranking supervisor? That's what I'm saying. These are the nuances that I'm just asking questions. I've only seen one case in my entire career of both parties getting busted. Both of them getting busted. Without repercussions, exactly. Well, I think if there was, that's the thing. What cases do we have right now where both parties, one senior ranking and the junior ranking one, is offered some sort of, hey, if you tell us what's happening, you'll get a lighter sentence. Heather says Riley incident, both got busted. He was forced to retire, and she was a new captain. And she got to stay because her daddy was a general. Wow, that's something like freaking oof. I don't know. Some similar examples and some other stuff here in some of this article here. An article posted in Forbes talked about this being already. This is National Sexual Assault Prevention Month. Army unfurls, of course, it's teal banners, teal pancakes, runs. Enter, don't be a bystander, yada, 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 yada. Does the Army have a zero tolerance in all this? Does the Army have... I'm kind of tired of the every time I see a CSM get busted, and then everyone's like, oh, talking about sexual assault. I think the community and I think the force wants to see results. It's unfair to the good order. It's unfair to the organization and a disruption to good order and discipline, right? Now we're talking about, again, these are cases that have gone through and have exactly that quote unquote zero tolerance. In the article in Forbes, these women come from a range of races, backgrounds, educations, and Army units and military specialties. Among mostly young. This coincides with the Army's own reports that soldiers between 17 and 24 reported the highest increase of sexual harassment last year. And these stories are first few years of military service. Female soldiers' memories can they can remember. General Grizzly will drop one star and retired. Okay, that's interesting. Looking at, matter of fact, I'm going to post this. I'm going to post this right here, this Forbes article, and all the chats, so that way we can see. I'll see that one. Ooh, man, that was crazy. That's a big one. That's a big link. Sorry about that. That's the Forbes one. Let's see, I'm going to look it up here. So Heather says David Mueller must have been there, and then okay, Mueller was there, huh? What'd you know, David? What'd you know about what was going on over there? This is everyone calm down in the comments, man. I'm just trying to find out. I'm just asking questions and discussing, and why is it that we have, if everyone's talking about, and this is what pisses me off, is a lot of these CSMs or senior leaders that get busted, it's always been we always knew this. He was always like that. She was always like that. Any back at brag moments here? Yes, as a matter of fact, there was some back and brag moments. There was an event where a first sergeant was involved with a soldier. She was one of the first female infantry soldiers. Had an inappropriate relationship with her too. So yes, there was some back and brag moments. The 82nd. That was a couple years back. And we're not allowed to talk about it when it happened and when found out through email. What did you find out, David? Oh, during the investigation. So everyone's dropping you have the whole, Heather has the whole email chain of what happened. Oof. Yeah, Josiah, exactly. Back and brag. Expert action badge. It was exposed through email. So, David, do you think the organization where you are at Riley has a tendency to cover up a lot of stuff? What else is going on over there? I mean, if everyone says it's happening and this happens all the time, then why isn't it getting reported? Now, of course, we have to respect the. I mean, it's a few years back, right? So, or how about has gone on over there? Since you and Heather seem to know what's all the particulars. Is this smoke pig talk? Is this actual facts? Is this legit shit? Your husband was employed with no pay due. Well, that sucks. Nobody likes that. Grinston was there. Wow. Okay, that's a while back. Yeah, I don't know what was his plan. This. Guys, for you guys listening on Twitter, I'm interacting with the chats on Facebook, YouTube, and so or Twitch. So if you guys aren't like, if you guys are like wondering who I'm talking to and what comments I'm talking about on Twitter, I'm on the Facebook pages and everyone's dropping a lot of details in the comments. I don't know. Maybe everyone should go in there and and take a look, Army leaders. So David said it was a legit shit. What's up, Bradley? How you doing, man? Talking about CSMs wilding. CSM's just acting the fool. What's it gonna take? What's up, CQ? Elon won't own Twitter soon. Yeah, really. He said he's planning on unveiling bots. He's going to make sure that you place the name to an account. So if this stuff happened and there was an investigation, let's go back to this CaseNet thing, a mill CaseNet, or what was solve this? How do we know? How is it that when investigations happen, then we find out after it gets big, why was it not identified through some sort of database? Why wasn't it identified through some sort of system tracking investigations? It was okay back in the day, it used to be kind of cool. It was okay to fucking post UCMJ stuff. And it was no big deal. You could post stuff on there. It almost seems like commands right now, they just don't want they think it's a blemish on their organization, and that reporting it will look bad when it actually makes it worse. Bad news gets worse with age. What's that term? I think we're in a good old boy program too. Yeah, that's right, Gary. We got one more leader highlight. We're gonna talk about. I think we got Barrio. Who's talking about Barrios and Perez. Wasn't there another one? I had up on the docket here. Let me look up. Oh, Hey Bradley, I know you exactly. It's some make it through the academy. Unfortunately, that's what I'm saying. What would be the fix? Now, I was suggesting that we have some sort of investigative database system to where individuals that have been reported this or have been under investigation, hell, any investigation or something like hell, it could be a reporter survey or this. How could we manage this so that it follows the individuals, so that way when the individual shows up, some people say that you're not giving an individual a fair shake or an equitable chance when we're supposed to be zero tolerance. Gary says it's okay to post your Joe's issues, but not your leaders, apparently. Yeah, we just had some individuals hit us up in the inbox saying they were out to smear the Army. Okay. A little forgetfulness there that we're not there for senior leaders, we're there for the Joes. A tracker would mean you would allow someone to stay in. Right. But here's the thing. If it's unfounded, because there are investigations that happen and it's unfounded. So you're still in the database system of that, right? And it follows you throughout your, even if nothing happened. If it was unfounded, then it would be like covered up or something like that. And then if a case becomes a charge where you could see the habitual performance. How can we like to do that stuff for when it comes to behavioral health or when it comes to physical fitness and stuff like that? Well, there's a trend. Okay, so ruin someone for unfounded, but the UCMJ is there to protect the rights of the accused. That's another thing too. Let's see. We talked about Barrios. We talked about Perez. I think who was the one that we didn't cover? Benito Perez, right? Yeah, we talked about him. What did he get busted for? I think he got busted down too. It doesn't have to be CSMs though. There's also first sergeants, master sergeants, and sergeants first class that do the same thing. Isn't it considered unfounded because the military does its own investigations? And I don't think the commander was forced to leave until the FBI got involved. I think with investigations of sexual assault, sexual harassment, there's the where chains of commands are no longer part of the investigative process. Hell, I'm just glad that 69 to 88 did this. The commander reacted. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. There's proof. There's text messages. There's interactions. There's lying on statements. I could tell you that I've seen, witnessed, and experienced, and I've seen investigations go and nothing was founded, and then the next incident happened, and then everyone was like, "Oh my God, why? How could this have happened?" How could you let this happen? How could you have said? A third-party adjudicator would be awesome. Third-party adjudicator would be good to go. You know how we like to contract intel, like to contract stuff out like that? Maybe we could contract some investigators like that. Bradley's got an outstanding comment in there. Maybe before selecting students to attend academy, they do go through a deeper background investigation. Local law enforcement, additional surveys from prior soldiers, NCO, and officers and organizations that they've served with. Exactly. We've offered headquarters DA material. We've offered them text messages and the like, and of course you've seen our screenshot madness of CSMs and first sergeants and commanders posting their stuff. Let's name all the things and that won't happen. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What if somebody makes a comment about you or something like that, and it's unfounded, completely unfounded, and then that investigation gets hammered up? The investigation decides that yes, there's been unfounded, and you are legit innocent. They did because of the Vanessa Gang. You're right, Pip. outside investigators. Of course, there's also, the investigation has to be kind of sterile or how do I say this? The investigation has to have at least some sort of, they collect all the information and all that, but can't go on freaking on hearsay a lot. You could accuse a lot of people of a lot of shit for no fucking reason, but unless you have proof, unless you have internal DMs or internal text messaging and stuff like that. What happened to the sergeant major at Carson? Was sentenced. He received 179 days of confinement, reduction in rank to sergeant first class, and a written reprimand. Pleaded guilty to one specification of indecent language in violation of Article 134. Indecent communications and a charge of fraternization with a junior soldier in his command. The woman who previously under his command testified that Perez made her feel obligated because of his rank and for his visit for closed-door meetings. Perez became unduly familiar with the junior soldier who was a private first class. Perez, who was a command sergeant major at the time, regularly called and texted the young soldier and requested him to send photos and personal meetings, regular closed-door. What the hell is the sergeant major talking to Joes anyways? There should be like a filter, right? Don't you have like first sergeants to talk to? And that's how you talk to the troops. Some of the ideas that I see in the comments right now are some good ideas. Another one also. I also, on both sides, yep, you got the deets, you got the evidence, and it's provided. Let's go back to the spouse thing. A spouse brings it up. A spouse says, hey, look, my old man's been fucking around, and I think he's banging one of his Joes. What happens then? I don't think that's the case, Heather. Some of it, like exactly that. It's like what I was saying before. What is a CSM doing talking to a PFC? What is a CSM doing talking to? Now, I'm not talking about like in the staff or something like that. Who knows? Maybe it might be in the battalion staff or the HQ. But what if a spouse reports it? How does her spouse? What does the UCMJ say about that? That's why I asked a question about what happens to the spouses in all this. The spouses, like, literally are freaking, having drama. I got a comment. Oh man, I got a comment in freaking. Coming here saying, I think what you're trying to implement is a warning label for badly behaving NCOs. Yeah. Why? Warn guy. This guy or gal's been investigated before. Not saying he's been guilty. It was unfounded, but guess what? This is what's happening. All right, cool. Let's go back to the spouse thing. Everyone's like going back, a spouse reports it. A spouse says something. Evidence is provided. Then what? I want to know what happens to the spouse. What does a chain of command do for the spouse and all this stuff? They're victims too, right? Okay, fine. I'll fucking address this, okay? Okay, well, you completely avoided someone earlier mentioning the banning thing with Donahoe, which I think has been completely blown up. What does that mean? No, please tell me. What about it? This would be a bigger fucking story right now if it was posted on the Army Times. Stars and Stripes, Task and Purpose. I've yet to see this fucking shit. So what about it? What do you want us to fucking say? I got to be serious, Corey. This is a serious issue. Everyone focuses on some of the other shit, but they don't want to focus on other because they believe in rumor mongering and believe in fucking shit posting when it doesn't need to fucking happen. Man, ask a couple questions, and man, holy shit, people get all riled up. Sounds like some of you are in the middle of some of these circles of rumor mongering themselves. Like, oh, did you hear about? Want to talk some shit before posting something, before saying something, so that way you don't look like the fucking, rumor mongerer. Last call. Commanders can execute. Hang on, check out more people sending me messages. Fucking, I got other people going through another method of email sending. E5 road trip details so he could slip over to his quarters. And one day he switched to duty with a buddy and came home to lunch and find his platoon sergeant with his old lady. And the E7 was discharged with 19 years time in service, and he went to go to the guard to get his 20. And I think you're also overlooking the rumor mill that are passing on info. That's what I'm saying. Proof. If you got fucking proof, then prove it. Don't just go by a fucking a knitting circle fucking method of drama to find out, oh shit, somebody said somebody about somebody. Hey, fucking prove it. Prove it. If you don't have fucking proof, then fucking, again, a lot of stories that we don't cover. Oh my God, you know how many fucking stories we get of whatever? Name it from Ukraine to fucking Germany to fucking Poland. Well, some of the stories in Poland are true. So much fucking shit gets posted up or gets told and gets thrown on social media because I heard somebody said something. I heard somebody said this. All right, well, if you fucking heard, then what's the fucking deets? I know there's individuals out there that have legit fucking proof and the units aren't doing shit. But everybody else wants to run on other shit. Everybody else wants to run on rumor mongering, conjecture, just because of what they think they know what's fucking happening. I'm just asking a question, Heather. I'm not attacking you. There's also individuals that are commenting on other platforms too. So I'm responding to them too. Most individuals would say, well, how come you're not reporting this? How come you're not reporting that? You see it on Task and Purpose? Did you see it on all this other stuff? Have you seen it verified through other news sources and other news medias? Usually not the case. Exactly that, man. Carter's got it right. NPC's digging for info for no frickin' reason. Everyone comes with conditions, unconditional love. Pfft. Go buy a Ken doll. Well, thank you. Wait a minute. What do you mean by Ken doll? What's that mean? My name's Ken. Ice, but whatever. So again, a lot of stuff that we post on there, we post screenshots. These are legit things that are coming from changes of command. We look through our information, and we don't go scooping for other fucking shit. I'm gonna give you a little tidbit of info. Sometimes we do, if it's too much, we provide that information to the units and some media outlets. What's up, Cause? Provide this information to the media. Provide this information to the unit. Some of the stuff is beyond WTF Moments' control to post or we offer the opinion and discussion about it, but unless we see something like right now, bam, we're talking about this stuff. We're talking about what's happening on with Sergeant Major Command. These Sergeant Majors, see, these are all proven. These are all out there, right? Oh, her reference was Barbie. Okay, his reference was Barbie. Okay, cool. I was going to say because my name's Ken too. So, Pip's right. Families are the ones that really suffer because they are suffering because the commands don't care. That's why I keep asking, what are chains of command doing with the families? Chains of command are there for the families when there's a gold star situation, right? A gold star spouse gets taken care of in an instance like this. I wonder, is there some sort of like casualty assistance? Once again, I'm getting dragged down on my webs. All right, we're going to take a break right quick, and then we'll be right back. So, shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
Put on your uniform right.
Expert Action Badge.
Show up to work on time.
Expert Action Badge.
Qualify on your weapon.
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
Find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right. Just doing your noble warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in the bag, Pogue. Badge of Action.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Action Badge.
so bad? Is this where you draw the line? 'Cause it's so sad. Tell me where you lost your faith. Is it so bad? Couldn't see it in your face. And it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Why you keep it in your head? Is it so bad? Never heard a word you say it, and it's so sad. Tell me when you lost your way, 'cause it's so bad. Wanna see you when I pray, and it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Is it what you want? Is it what you need now? Is it what you breathe? Is it what you're feeling now? Is it what you feel? Is it what you're feeling now? Is it what you wanted? I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Hello, you. Will you come back down to me? Hello, you. Will you come back down? Hello, you. Won't you come back down to me? Hello, you.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
The new weapons that have been fielded, and I have a personal friend who's also been a guest before on the Monday edition and Sergeant's Time. He goes by the moniker of Red Devil, and he's a great guy, special forces officer, and he's shoots the shit with us all the fucking time. So I'm gonna post his AVI up here so that way you guys can see what who I'm dealing with. So we're gonna be talking about the new rifle. Red, welcome to Sergeant's Time.
Thank you, sir. Good to be here.
Yeah, dude, long time no here. It's been almost like a year since we had you on air.
It's been a hot minute. Yeah. It's been a hot minute. It's good to be back.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so the Army now, and you know me, I was an XM8 HK stan. So
okay.
The Army's introduced a new rifle and a new automatic weapon. Can you give us some deets about it?
Oh man, how long do you have? I'm gonna nerd out on this.
Go
thing.
for it, dude, bro. Go for it.
Both of these weapon systems are gonna be chambered in 6.8 by 51. So they're gonna be larger than 5.56, and it's actually like a 277 Fury. It's basically a proprietary SIG round. It is supposed to perform better and have less drop at 1,000 yards and have greater energy at distance than the 5.56. So special operations and some parts of the military have 8.55 Alpha 1, which is like the new and improved version of 8.55. Alpha 1 was made to kind of smoke up armor, like plate carrier armor, not armor.
Right.
And it still didn't perform, or it hasn't performed. How do I put it? It hasn't performed as much as we expected. So it has really high chamber pressure. It tears up barrels, but it's still vastly superior to 8.55 regular ball ammo. With this whole near peer environment that we're getting into, I think the military started seeing that a lot of peer threat militaries have rifles that have better performance at distance and better velocities out of their rounds. And so that's when this whole new NGSW, Next Generation Squad Weapon System search occurred. There were 3 weapons that were kind of put forth, and SIG won out. And SIG had utilized its 277 SIG Fury proprietary round as kind of the center of performance. So it's interesting because if you look at how everything's kind of built out in terms of that weapon system, there's some trade-offs, right? So if we just talk about the round, and like when you talk about this Fury round versus like a 6.5 Creedmoor, which is a really nice hunting round that performs really well, it has 6% or 6 feet less drop at 1,000 yards, and it's got 25% greater energy. And like we say, 8.55 Alpha 1, this M4 round has 51,000 psi in the chamber. This SIG Fury is 80,000 psi. So this thing comes out of the barrel screaming. And the military wanted or had an expectation of having a better performing round at distance. But the trade-off is, you're almost looking at a 10-pound-ish rifle as opposed to the M4. So you're getting a really hot round out of a fairly heavy rifle. You're probably going to have a little bit more recoil impulse. And so the interesting thing is, this heavier battle rifle is going to probably break a lot of backs or get a lot of infantrymen angry, or people that have to carry it angry, because this thing is the ammo weight and the weapon weight are going to potentially frustrate a lot of people. Add on top of that this ballistic calculator of a optic that they're going to be basically putting on all of them. So you'll have guys that if they're in the prone and they're engaging something at 1,000 meters, they can probably chew it to pieces with this. But if you have to, fire and maneuver, if you're a light infantryman, you could be having a bad day. It could get a little bit interesting in terms of what your loadout is, especially if you've got a ruck and in a peer environment you're wearing armor. Like your knees are gonna be hurting.
So why did you think the Army decided to choose this specific round? Is everyone saying it's a Creedmoor, it's a Grendel? What's the difference between the rounds?
Well, so this Fury is like if you can imagine it as like a necked down 7.62 or a souped up 5.56, it's probably the best explanation. But it's basically like a Magnum 5.56 round, and any round we've had. So I go back to chamber pressure because that's what really is a good reading of how fast this round is going out of the barrel. So 8.55 Alpha 1 comes out at like 61,000, like it's screaming out of an M4 barrel, and you end up burning through a lot of barrels just because that thing goes out so fast. At 80,000 psi, this thing it's like a grenade going off. So it's really ripping out of that barrel. and so you're shooting, a much hotter, much faster round that you're going to get a lot of accuracy out of. But with that, heavy impulse, that chamber pressure, you have to put a lot of meat, so to speak, around that round, and so you're going to get a heavier rifle. And what's going to be interesting is, from what I've heard on the grapevine, the first units that are going to get these are predominantly infantry units, and what I'm assuming the Army is going to do is, if these get fielded to these infantry units, it's going to be kind of the test bed of where they ask these guys, hey, what is the sticking point for this weapon system? And I'm expecting a lot of guys to basically say, hey, look, this thing is way too heavy. We need to figure out a way to cut this down. And so that's what will be interesting. However, I think the belt-fed, the machine gun, is going to be a game changer. So I think this round in general is going to replace not only the 5.56 but 7.62. So I initially thought we were going to get another belt fed, like a replacement to the 240, but I think this belt fed is replacing both weapon systems within an infantry weapons platoon or a company or whatever, and specifically because it has more energy at distance and has less drop than a 7.62 does. And so the other interesting thing is, when I was looking at the pictures, it looked like it had a safe and a fully automatic,
right?
Which would make sense with this gun or with this weapon system, because coming out of a belt fed, I think you're going to see a really nice beaten zone. I don't think you're going to have a lot of dispersion, and I think you're going to end up getting the performance you're expecting out of this round, almost more so out of a belt fed than you would a battle rifle. It almost seems kind of overkillish with a battle rifle than it does a belt fed. But we may. So SOF has a 338 Norma belt fed that they're developing. And so maybe, the Army uses that too, but that's almost kind of like a light or a light plus or a heavy minus machine gun system, because, SF dudes and SEALs are kind of out in the hinterlands, alone and unafraid, and they need probably a little bit more firepower than what a regular infantry platoon or infantry company would have.
Now, you said this is something it would be almost how we're considered near peer. Dude, have you been seeing how Russia's been are they? We've only been seeing. It looks like they've had exotic imported rifles in their invasion of Ukraine. But what's the near peer difference between these two weapons?
Man, that's a good question. So there's a lot of exotic stuff that the Russians have used for a while, like the Azval, which is this really weird kind of Spetsnaz suppressed rifle. That's they've always had kind of, I don't want to say it's bespoke or exotic chambered rifles, but it seems like a lot of peer countries have done a lot more in terms of differentiating round types, right? So we basically stay within the NATO confines of weapon systems we use, whereas Russians basically just kind of make up a round and then make a gun behind it, and the Chinese have oddly enough done that with grenade launchers in some weird senses. But in this round, hopefully, or at least is basically our whack at being able to outrange a lot of the more exotic battle rifle systems. Between us and the Russians, we still kind of we're starting to favor this 338 Lapua round for sniper systems. We've kind of backed off. What was it, 2007, 2008? Everybody thought the Barrett 50 cal was this godsend to snipers, and it just was kind of nerdy.
Exactly.
But I think, what's that?
I said exactly. Everyone thought that
right?
was the end all be all of snipering.
And now with this sniper system where you can, so the new, it's not a 110, but Barrett basically has an interchangeable chamber and barrel system for a sniper rifle that varies from 6.5 Creedmoor, 338, and 50 cal. And this thing is extremely accurate, performs really well, and it's amazing to watch. So I think we're kind of turning the corner on how we're handling this, how we would handle ranging our adversaries when it comes to the tactical level.
Let's get some questions in the chat. Is this something? Is there any headspace tolerances with an interchangeable barrel that they have to? How hard is it easy to fix? How hard is it to fix if there's issues?
It is, so it's easy to fix, and what it is like they basically have a magazine spacer for the difference in cartridge lengths for magazines, and then I want to say it's a barrel and bolt face change, and that's it. And like, because we were getting a few classes on it, and it's like, I'm not a sniper. I know a couple dudes, and like, just the walkthrough of how they change is like, oh, this seems stupid easy. And then in my officer brain was like, all right, I need to go sign NCOERs. And so like, went to the back and out. But so far that system seems like it's kind of the new hotness. And it's replacing the XM 2010, which is the 300 Win mag chambered sniper system, and it's obvious it'll replace most of the bolt action rifles we have. And then I'm assuming, what is it? We've got an H&K replacement to the 110, which I'm almost expecting to see that get replaced probably within the next 3 or 4 years as well. Like, it's already kind of dated, but I think, piston-driven rifle systems are kind of the next hotness for the military.
What do you think? What was the reason? What was the what was the change? Was it a popularity thing? Was it something that somebody decided to say, yeah, this is proof positive with other organizations that, yeah, piston-driven is the way to go? What was the change?
Well, I mean, there's definitely some special mission units that have proven that piston-driven rifles can outperform some gas rifles, and I think SIG, with the advent of the MCX, and then NSW and other units kind of using these piston-driven systems and like dialing them in, has kind of set the stage for a transition over to it. I mean, it in the regular Army, it may not make as much sense of like having a folded buttstock, right? Like, an 11 series probably doesn't care about folding this thing in half and putting it in a backpack or whatever.
Right.
But for the most part, like, this is exactly what SOF needs. Now, this rifle may be way too big for us, and we may have to cut it down or get a lighter version of it, but having a piston-driven rifle that you can pretty much fit in a bag, especially in denied environments, is quite honestly awesome to have.
Speaking of which, the portability, was it part of the requirements to have that portability in these weapons, or did SIG just drop that as a nice to have?
I think it was just kind of a nice to have, just because they'd done it with the MCX, and that's kind of SIG's vibe.
Gotcha. You were talking about the. I got a picture up here of the machine gun version. You were talking about the optics. Well, what's the deal with the optics? I know there were some guys there's some individuals in our group chats that are talking about you're engaging, you're in a tick with the enemy, and all of a sudden your site needs an upgrade. Text messages. Yeah, your site is sending you a text message saying you need to upgrade, or you need to send you need to shut down and restart. What's up with with the site?
Well, so it's supposed to be this like cross-functional like optic, like it has variable magnification. It's got a etched reticle, right, which like we have for our night forces right now, but it also is supposed to have an inbuilt rangefinder, a ballistic calculator, like an atmospheric sensor. It's supposed to kind of work into this like intra-soldier wireless system too. So it almost seems like I don't want to say Bluetoothing, but it almost seems like with some of the newer radio systems, like right. It's trying to incorporate some of that newer stuff.
Right.
And then it also has an infrared aiming laser, and then like a digital display overlay. So like this thing's wild, man. Like it in its vortex, which means it's going to be okay. Like they've got great customer service, and their optics high performance optics aren't bad. This thing is fairly big though. Like it looks like what is it, like a Wilcox, not a Viper, or like a Vector, but I mean it's got like this big computer on top of the optic as well, and so like you're adding weight on top of that rifle. The interesting thing, and there's a mutual follow of ours that said it, is like, this will help the performance of the rifle and the rifleman, but like the first issue is we have to have marksmen that can employ this in the first place, right? So like I think the challenge for the Army is, now that we've got all this cool stuff, like what are we doing to ensure dudes' backs aren't breaking to to be able to hump this however many Ks they have to? And then what are we doing to kind of increase the lethality for these squads? Because we're literally giving an 18-year-old, a system that he's never seen before that can literally tell him how to shoot a rifle. And it may be, plug and play and really easy to do that. But I think we have to, the initial part is the conversation, because, when I look at this thing, I'm like, I'm not going to know how to use this. It's wild. It looks like a Raptor, if you know what that thing is. It's huge.
Yeah. Well, my thing is that looking at that stuff, I'm just kind of curious. Have we moved away from, okay, if we're talking about, and you posted, you said something that I like to laugh about, the lethality word. Don't you have to have at least a good, and I got another dude trying to call in here. Don't worry, Parker, you get to call in a minute. Hang on. Isn't there an issue with the programming a squad designated marksman for an organization? Don't you have to have that training to begin with? Did you see a gap in that?
Oh man, it's been a while, but I think the problem we've always had, and we being the military in general, has always been we've never had an issue with squad level or kind of the lowest level training. You're always going to have NCOs that invest into dudes and train dudes properly. But I think that where we'll probably lose track and we'll kind of outrun our headlights is, what does the institutional training look like? And is it capitalizing the capabilities of these systems? And I don't think the answer will be there. I think what will happen is you'll see SF dudes, or you'll see light infantry guys kind of conduct some sort of training, and they have a light bulb moment, and then they employ the system either how it's supposed to be employed, and they're like, oh, now we get it. Or it'll be a much more kind of ingenious way of employing the systems and utilizing them. And I think it's just a matter of time before. Honestly, the best thing the Army can do is just give it to them and let them break about half of these and figure out what works, and then just roll out what actually is supposed to work. Because I think the interesting thing is going to be how they use these optics. Part of me thinks these optics are going to be revolutionary, and it's going to change how, tactical units engage at distances, right? I think we're either going to see kind of a generational leap in fighting at a kilometer, or it's going to be this is garbage. This is it's too technological and it's too finicky, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a good point. The sensitivity of the sights, the training of this, specifically with the training of the, I'm kind of thinking that, okay, so we need to get up our training. Don't you think we need to change our BRM now? We have to rewrite the whole freaking manual now, right?
Oh man, we're gonna have to change the SDZs on our ranges.
Yeah, I was about to say.
These rounds are gonna outperform 5.56. You're gonna range control's probably shitting their pants right now.
I was about to say, because you're changing up you have a whole new system, a different no caliber. This changes BRM, completely. It's like you just can't. Oh well, we'll fill these. We're gonna get these filled out as soon as we get the ammo. And I'm thinking, well, did you guys not think about getting the ammo first, or you guys are rolling out?
Yeah, and ammo is going to be this is a bimetal shell, so you've got a steel or aluminum case. It's also a brass case, so it's this 2 metal shell. That your logistics and everything else are going to be interesting. Never mind the fact that we're going to a completely different round that NATO doesn't use, right? And so there's that issue. And the BRM will change. How you zero and how you set your rifle up won't change too much. What'll be interesting to see is if rifle qualification scores drop off. It's kind of hard to trend it anyways, but it'd be interesting to see how it is trended and within units that are kind of smart on it, if they do it the right way. See how their guys trend it, because inherently you're gonna get tired faster with a heavier rifle, especially with more recoil impulse. And then, heck, if you have the ability to engage at distance with an optic that basically tells you what to shoot, why wouldn't you have a qualification range that doesn't reach out to 900 yards, 800 yards, and actually, train to the peer adversary that we're building these weapons for, which would be a pretty interesting argument to make.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I would like to see I would like to see some ranges like right now with some units getting to use. It's kind of like how SOF had the SCAR, and we were using the SCAR, and then you notice that I'm just surprised that that FN didn't even. I was like, okay, we're gonna go SIG for the rest of the Army. We're thinking, dude, well, okay, I guess not. You know what I mean? So,
right. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Now do you think the demand is going to be? I mean, I'm always up on training to begin with. I always feel it's important. How do you think that it's going to shape Army training at all? I mean, if it is going to change it.
Well, I think if it's either going to be this is a cop out. It's either going to be good or bad, right? If it's good, then you're going to see units kind of embrace this new system, which will be very personality driven. And if it is good, then it'll involve a lot of feedback from tactical units. If it's bad, you're going to see guys basically like pushing back against this and being like, this is not, this is not as good as you think it is, or not better than the M4. I don't know. I really think that what will change the game is how this round performs in the hands of 11 series, and how the guys at squad and platoon level are kind of educated on what this round's capable of. And I think if you want to do it right, then it's taking those guys out to the range and letting master gunners run a series of drills and figure out if this is really what's good for the guys on the ground.
Yeah, I'm curious, man. What's the cost of these things? I mean,
oh, jeez.
If I was Joe Civilian and I wanted to buy a civilian version, or hell,
SIG Spear. Let me pull that up, because I was just looking at it, and it's not cheap. It's $8,000 right now. That's MSRP. I just pulled it up. The cost of an MCX Spear is $8,000, and that's like a civilian spear. So I'm assuming, it's.
Oh my god, dude!
DoD is probably paying the same amount. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what's that?
No, I said yeah, exactly. The DoD is like going to be like, okay, here we go, and then on top of that, sight.
You're talking like the rifle itself, and not including the suppressor, which I think all of them are supposed to have a suppressor. That was part of the NGSW contract. And then you're dropping that Vortex sight on it, which is probably it's gonna be a chunk. And then pushing all this ammo out to units, like it's definitely gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a chunk of change for sure.
That's it. Yeah, everyone's saying that the civilian model of a 240 is $5,000.
Right.
I'm like, it's gonna be that expensive. So do you think it's gonna be do you think that sight's gonna be like a sensitive item, like a set of nods? So if
100%. I mean, it is going to be like a set of nods. You have dudes. It's like the Wilcox Raptor, which is SI.
Yeah.
Right. So, or like a Pac 15 or whatever. So it'll definitely be a sensitive item. You're gonna, dude. There's gonna be more 550 on this thing, and like tie down wires than you can even possibly imagine.
Yeah, well,
your rifle's gonna be another added 10 pounds of just tie downs.
Of just tie downs, exactly. If not plastic ties or like you said, safety wire.
Right.
What's the durability on these things? I know before the Army selects a rifle, they do put them through through several phases of rigorous testing. So how tough are these things?
I mean, I'd say at least the rifle is probably no more or less durable than an M4. It's piston driven, so it's made to kind of take a beating. The Vortex optic. Man, I don't know. Vortex makes good optics, but what concerns me about the top of this optic is just the fact that it's got so much technology in it. And so, is this thing getting drop tested? Is it getting dunked, whatever? That'd be interesting. I would be interested to see how this optic, outside of just the glass itself, performs. All the infrared laser and all that stuff is small technology that can be easily broken, and even PEC 15s and like, you know, kind of the bomb-proof lasers we have, those things get dinged and beat up, you know, really easily.
Yeah. No, I'm just curious. Give it to the 82nd for a little bit.
That's what I say. Give it to Parker.
Yeah, exactly. Give it to Parker, and then give it to Parker, or give it to somebody. We don't know anybody in the 101st, but we mostly know people from the 82nd and soft. But
right.
Yeah, just to see how that folds out, man, because it's like a. I'm curious. I have curious. I'm bi-curious on that, on this weapon, because I remember you were saying that there's and you and Brink were saying the same thing, that there's going to be some individuals that are going to be partial to the M4 and swear, ride or die with the AR platform, and we're already seeing FUDs talking about why do we need this rifle?
Oh yeah, well, and I think we'll probably see. So I want to say you'll probably see an upper group or an upper like an upper carrier group, like in special operations. It's probably made by SIG. So you may see an MCX 5.56 upper in the near future, which will be nice. Which will I think it'll kind of like test the waters in terms of the acceptability of some of these systems. But I definitely, you will see some hard line, where's my M4 personalities, which will be interesting. I'm interested to see if they cut the barrel down and they make this thing shorter, or what the bandwidth for, what we want to do to this rifle is, or if it's just like, nope, this is it. Get used to it. Its recoil is hard and its rounds are heavy.
Or like the 13th Warrior, grow stronger.
Right, yeah. We gave you a new ACFT. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Suck it up.
Yeah.
Plank it, bitch.
Do more planks.
Exactly. Hey, Red, thanks again for hanging out, man, and shooting the breeze.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And of course, again, this is Red Devil. You can follow him on Twitter, and you can follow him. His at is at SnakeEater36 on the Twitter. And always dropping great clinics on gear setups and rifles. And, brother, again, always a pleasure to have you on. And, again, can't wait for you to come back for the Stolen Valor series, man. I can't wait for everybody to get back and to do this.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Can't wait to be back on. All
right. Hey, we're going to take a break, real short break right quick. So then we'll be right back, and then we'll do this again. And then, so everyone hang on. Shots. Stand by.
Wished you could crawl
right, we're back again for more weapons talk. More talking with weapons. I'm digging this weapon stuff. Online, I got the Master Gunner Parker from the 82nd Airborne Division. And he's fired this weapon before. So talk to us, brother. What were you saying earlier?
Hey, so I talked with Red, and we went back and forth on, like, you know, what I thought about the weapon system and everything like that. I went out with my CG, and I talked with the program managers, and I started asking them the questions that everybody asks. And my first question was, how much does it weigh? And they were like, who are you? I'm like, I'm the guy that knows stuff about shooting guns and stuff. And the gun itself is with the suppressor, like, you know, we've seen on Twitter, we've seen on like Facebook and stuff. It's like, oh, it weighs 8.63 pounds, not much more than the M4. Well, you add a suppressor on there, you add weight, and it was like, it weighs in between 10 and 10.5 pounds. I was like, okay, how much does the optic weigh? It's good optic. Very good optic. And they're like, oh, it weighs like 2.5 pounds. I was like, so you're telling me that this weighs in between like 12 and 13 pounds. My immediate thought was, what about like our 110, 130, 50 pound infantrymen, whether they're male or female? That's a heavy gun. And I lugged that thing down the range and shot it, and like moving from position to position, I was like, this thing's pretty damn heavy. And the thing I will say, so it has an integrated laser rangefinder, LRF, and a Viz IR laser, all integrated into it, and so you don't have a PEC anymore. And it is, once you get that thing zeroed, it is tap the pressure pad on target once you're looking down the optic, and it has an automatic adjusting BDC, or bullet drop compensator, and so it is literally click, BDC drops, shoot, and I couldn't miss with it. And like the rifle itself was absolutely phenomenal. But let you ask me anything you want. I got to shoot it. I got to play with the PMs, and it's a good gun.
So, in your experience, you've got to experience it now. You were able to just like out of the box, be able to just, you know, slap a fucking sight on there and then load it up and then go. He says he's got a high point EAT cannon, so there you go.
So I zeroed it, and then we were at a just regular 300 meter pop up range, and they're like, hey, push the button. Like once, like, you know, pressure pad. Once your dot's on target, watch the BDC drop or raise based upon the distance that you're aiming at, and shoot. And I went from target to target to target to target, and was just like, I just aimed center mass, and everything hit center mass. It's a very good optic.
So you didn't even did you have to zero it? Did you have to do any battle sight zero, or did you have to take it to a zero range, or anything? You just slapped it on and went?
No, we went to a zero range, but the zeroing procedures for it, because of like how it adjusts, because like even our M68, if you know the knowledge, minute of angle, like everything adjusts very easy. And I want to say that this was like a quarter minute of angle adjustment per click versus like our 68s and ACOGs, or like a half minute of angle per click. And so it was a very precise weapon, and made the zeroing process like very easy if you trust the math. And then like once we got it zeroed, went 2 ranges over and went and shot, and it was like point and shoot. Like, I'll say click and shoot, because you pressure pad, shoot, every single target.
Hello?
Ken, you got me?
Yeah, dude, you're cutting out.
Oh, I'm sorry. But what I was saying, I don't know when I cut out, but like after we got it zeroed, like very easy to get zeroed.